Hi guys! This video is Scorpios and how to tell if they like you and what they're like when it comes to love and relationships. This video is going to be pretty lengthy. If you're looking for shorter, more to the point videos, I will link them up here when they are available. This video is based off of sun signs, but you can watch this video if you know somebody with their sun sign in Scorpio, if you have your sun sign in Scorpio, or you could look at somebody who has their Venus in Scorpio, even if their sun is in like Gemini or Leo, or if they have their moon sign even in Scorpio. You can watch both videos and kind of get a better understanding of whoever it is that you're interested in, a relationship with, or yourself, because we're all interested in ourselves, like, let's be honest. Since this video is longer, I am going to be breaking it up. We're going to be talking about who the Scorpio is really. Then we'll talk about what the Scorpio wants when it comes to relationships and love. How can you tell somebody's a Scorpio without having to ask their birthday? What are Scorpios like? What do they not like? Is the Scorpio interested in you? How to get a Scorpio to notice you? How to tell if they're not interested? Scorpios are born anywhere between October 23rd and November 21st. If you're on the cusp of either of those dates, feel free to message me to find out what your sun sign is, or click on the website or find the app that I've listed down below to find it really quick and easy. Scorpio is a sign of the scorpion. They are the element of water, the quality of fixed, and they are ruled by the planet of Pluto and co-ruled by the planet Mars. So let's jump into it and talk about Scorpios. So who is the Scorpio really? Firstly, the first thing to understand about a Scorpio is they are very charming people. They do tend to hide behind a bit of a facade, or I guess you could use the word mask. It's not that they're being deceptive, it's just that they are pretty secretive people. They don't want to be an open book, and beneath the Scorpio's calm, cool exterior is often this really intense energy going on. At first glance, they might even seem light or airy, but you will soon pick up on this intensity, even if you can't quite put your finger on it. So behind whatever facade that they choose, there's a lot going on. Scorpios can be quiet or even shy, but despite this, you'll often notice an inner strength that might be hard to pick up on at first, but you'll notice it the more you get to know a Scorpio, or you might notice it right away. Scorpios tend to have strong beliefs or opinions. They do tend to be, and I often say this in my other videos, but they have more black and white beliefs and opinions. And it's not that they can't change their mind. I mean, they are a fixed sign, but it's just that they tend to be very adamant in what it is that they believe in. So if they've made their mind up about something, they've put a lot into that. They don't take that kind of stuff lightly. If they're making a decision, they look into it. So with that being said, that's why they do tend to be more black and white. You know, once they have decided on something, they stick to it. Of course, you know, they can change their mind, but typically they stick to it. They are not wishy-washy people for the most part. I mean, it's possible you could have a Scorpio that has a ton of other stuff going on in their chart. Like, for instance, you know, Libra tends to be indecisive. If there's a lot of Libra going on in the chart, you can have a Scorpio that tends to not be quite so black and white and quite so, you know, steadfast in their beliefs and opinions. But typically, that Scorpio energy, once they've decided on something, they stand behind it, and their morals and beliefs are very important to them. They don't like to be vague about how they feel and what they know. When it comes to relationships, sometimes Scorpios tend to not get into them because they can be challenging, and that's for a number of reasons. For instance, control is really important to Scorpios, and trying to have control in a relationship and having it be something that's very important is something that can make a relationship difficult. When control is vital, it can be tough to navigate that with another person and being part of a partnership. Part of a partnership. Good one. In addition, being that fixed water sign of the zodiac, change is really hard for them, and their emotions are very intense, and they do tend to hide that, and it's not something that you often pick up on or know about them. Scorpios definitely deal with intense emotions. When it comes to relationships, they can definitely deal with feelings of jealousy and possessiveness, and at times they can be critical of others and especially themselves. I do feel like a lot of this need for control and the issues with jealousy and possessiveness, a lot of this stems from a Scorpio has a big fear of being hurt and being wounded. You know, especially if they've been hurt or wounded in the past, they remember how intensely they felt that. It can be very painful for them. And again, they can really experience emotions at a very intense level. And when a Scorpio is hurt, they do tend to, you know, fight back, and they can seek vengeance. But overall, they just really are trying to avoid that at all costs. Although sometimes unintentionally, they kind of end up in that situation anyways because they're trying to protect themselves, but sometimes that can actually lead to more issues. The sign can be stubborn, but they can also be very perseverant. I don't often feel like Scorpios get a fair representation of how hard that they work, because they really can work tirelessly, especially if it's something that they are very passionate about. And Scorpios can be passionate people for sure. They will keep trying and trying and trying and trying until they accomplish something or they get what it is that they're out to get. And they'll do this for people that they love as well. If they love somebody, that person's very important to them, and they will give that same amount of integrity that they give to their own passions and pursuits in life to people that they love. And I know I said earlier that they have really strong beliefs and morals, and the same goes for people that they love. Once they love somebody, they genuinely care about them and they will stand strong beside them. So Scorpios are the investigators of the zodiac, and they just love to dig below the surface, find stuff out, find out the truth, discover things, and they're very observant people, much more observant than, most of the other signs, and they pick up on stuff, little details that other people might miss, and they're also very thorough. So if they're looking into something, they're not gonna read a brief article about something and then, they feel like they know it all. They're gonna read 25,000 articles about a subject and, go to the library, pick up some books, meet somebody in person. So they're definitely gonna do their research, and that's what Scorpios can be known for, and they can actually be a bit obsessive when it comes to things that they're interested in. They're just really good at uncovering things that other people might miss. So even though they're really good at that, they're also very mysterious people, and I know I kind of mentioned that earlier, but just because they're really into digging below the surface, they definitely don't want other people doing that, to them, and they will protect against that, and they tend to be secretive. They know a lot about other people, especially people that they're interested in, but they don't want the tables to be turned. The sign of Scorpio ruled by Pluto and is associated with the 8th house of the zodiac. There's a lot about death, and often those three things get associated with death. And there can be a negative or even scary connotation associated with Scorpios, Pluto, 8th house, but the important thing to realize is Pluto as a planet is a very transformative planet. There's a lot of transformation involved when it comes to the 8th house and Scorpios and Pluto. And it's not about death. It's not supposed to be scary. It's more that Scorpio can be a very transformative sign. They can have a lot of intensity, and they might have to go really walk through fire before they get to the other side. But a lot of Scorpios will have major transformations during their lifetime. And yes, change can be hard for them, and they might, kick and fight throughout a change, but they definitely can change, and they do have the ability to do so. And there can be a lot of endings and new beginnings in a Scorpio's life. They can be the type of sign that can be rebirthed. It sounds creepy, but they can, really go through difficulties in life and come out on the other side better because of it. Even though a lot of Scorpios can struggle with relationships, there's definitely that potential for them to grow and to evolve. They're really compassionate, and they want to love, and they really want to be loved. That's important to them. Scorpios are a bit of a magical sign. They're very intuitive. They're into spiritual stuff and stuff like this, astrology. They can be drawn to things like that, to an array of different spiritual subjects. And they're creative and very intricate people. Okay, that was thorough. So let's get into the good stuff. What do Scorpios want when it comes to love and relationships? Everything. They want it all, and they want it their way. Sound like a Burger King commercial. Is that even the right restaurant? But I'm just kidding. Sort of, not really at all. Scorpio doesn't just want one thing. They don't just want two things. They don't just want 10 things. They want everything, and they want a complete package, and that's what they want. They want a partner who's gorgeous or handsome, but also smart and deep and successful. They don't only want a partnership, they want that connection with somebody, that soul connection, that twin flame, soulmate connection with another person. They really desire that deep connection. If it feels fated, all the better. If it feels like it was meant to be, that's what they're looking for. They don't just want that relationship that's comfortable and feels good and they get along with the other person and there's an attraction there. No, it has to be the connection that's meant for them. They want that passion, they want the romance, and they don't even mind if it comes with a bit of a volatile side, because often passion can come along with that. Scorpios can be up. They can be down. Happy and excited one moment, wounded and sulking the next. And I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it's very true. And they can be drawn to this type of up and down in their relationships as well. Sometimes they really long for that roller coaster ride. Things being exciting and happy and thrilling and up here. And then, of course, inevitably the roller coaster comes down and they have to deal with that side of things as well. But they really are looking for those highs, even though sometimes they forget that it can be associated with the lows. Not always. I'm not saying all love, romance, and passion is, has to involve arguing and stuff like that. But A Scorpio kind of looks for that whole, thrill of things in a relationship because it feels more like it's meant to be. Even if there's that threat of arguing and fighting or even danger, a Scorpio can still go along with the relationship if it feels like it's the right person for them. I did mention earlier that control is very important to Scorpios and they do want to have control in their relationships. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to try to control their partner and change them and tell them what they have to wear and stuff along those lines. I mean, it could be the case, as it could be for any sign. We always hope that it's not, but that's not what I'm talking about. They just really need a sense of power and a sense of like they're protected within the relationship because they fear the demise of the relationship and the pain that that could cause them. Again, they feel emotional pain incredibly deeply and they will do a lot to avoid that happening to them. And this might not even be an intentional thing they're doing. Not every Scorpio that's in a relationship has already been in a painful relationship before that. So not every Scorpio wants control just because they're trying to avoid that. But that is a primary reason why Scorpios are looking to have the power and the control in the relationship, and also because it just feels natural to them. Don't forget, they have done the research, they know what they want, they know what works, or so they think. So sometimes that can be part of the reason why they tend to be a little bit more domineering in relationships. Scorpios often have this perfect idea of a relationship in their mind, and that's what they crave and that's what they want. So they can be let down by the reality of a relationship. If it's not exactly what they had in mind and what they've been imagining in their fantasies and daydreams, then, they can kind of be disappointed. There's some signs that are a little bit more rational when it comes to love and more practical, and yes, that can be a bit more boring, but they often are expecting things to kind of go that way. Sometimes Scorpios can really build up what they want in their love life, and if it doesn't turn out to be like that, they can be highly disappointed. Again, they want that relationship that's incredibly deep and connected, but at the same time, they don't want to share themselves entirely. Like I said, they put walls up, they're secretive, they're mysterious. So often having that real deep connection can be very difficult. They're terrified of rejection, of being left by someone, by their partner. So they do put that wall up. And then, of course, that can create issues because they want that deep connection, but they're kind of preventing it from truly happening. Or they want the connection their way, but their partner's like, well, this goes both ways. And that can cause some issues as well. Scorpio's like, I need to know everything about you, but I'm not going to tell you anything about me. They want so badly to have that deep connection with another person, but sometimes it's inevitable that there's gonna be a problem because they just are going to be their secretive selves and they're gonna make it difficult for that connection to deeply form. Scorpios love one-to-one time in relationships. They can be a bit more of a clingy sign. If they're interested in someone, they want to spend their time around that person. But interestingly enough, Scorpios can be clingy one minute, but then another second they really need their space and they absolutely require it. So it can be a bit confusing for a partner who is used to them being clingy and then all of a sudden they want their space and they just need complete alone time. They're definitely looking for somebody that can understand both sides of that. Ultimately, the most important thing for a Scorpio is trust and feeling like their partner has their back and like they can count on them and that their partner is honest and genuine. If that isn't there, even if it's missing a little bit, that will be a huge deal breaker for a Scorpio. They need to feel like their partner is, 100% on their side and that they can completely trust them. How do you know you're dealing with a Scorpio without having to ask for their birthday? You're at a party, you're at a restaurant, you're within a group of people, and you're trying to figure out if this person you're kind of vibing with is a Scorpio. How can you tell? They'll often appear broody or mysterious or alluring, like the Damon Salvatore vibes. Or maybe that would be more Stefan. I don't really know. Damon's pretty chatty. Whether they're hanging out alone or with a group of people, they stick out in some way. Even if they're quiet and not, being loud or showy, even if they're sitting in a dark corner somewhere, you're still gonna kind of notice them. They have this quiet strength and intensity. Something about them will catch your attention in some way, shape, or form, even if you can't quite figure out what that something is. They can be sitting, not saying a word, and you'll be like, who is that person? If you're talking to them or listening to them talk, they might be talking about a subject, and while they are, you notice that they really seem to know what they're talking about, and they're not just bluffing or talking about things at a surface level. They tend to know the ins and outs. They might be fretting about something that's upset them. Again, they can be a bit of an obsessive sign when it comes to certain things, especially if they've perceived some type of a slight towards them. You know, if they're talking about a certain situation that occurred recently or a person that they don't like for some reason, they might be a little bit fixated on things. Or they might just be fixated on something they're interested in the moment and it's not a negative thing, but they're just kind of like, you know, they can't stop talking about it. Something about this person will make you feel comfortable sharing personal details about yourself. You might find them up late, you know, in the middle of the night, pursuing some type of passion or, you know, working towards a goal that they're trying to accomplish. Again, they're just very charming. Even if they're the quiet or shy type, they'll tend to get your attention without needing to be loud or showy. In fact, they probably won't want to be loud or showy, but they can just be very charming people naturally. You know, like Ryan Gosling with the Hey Girl. He's a Scorpio. What do Scorpios like? They like somebody that's a bit challenging for them to figure out, somebody that's a mystery. Despite that need we keep talking about for control, they actually like a man or a woman, whoever they're interested in, to be confident. Somebody who's patient and takes their time figuring out who the Scorpio is, you know, doesn't rush them and figures out the Scorpio at a slow pace. They'll be interested in somebody who has pursuits and passions of their own. Someone with uniquely attractive qualities. You know, if you're a little bit weird, don't fret. Scorpios will be totally into that. Somebody who's into an array of different topics, but especially somebody who, you know, is interested in things at more than just a surface level, or people that are really open-minded, open about talking about things like creepy things or spiritual things, things that like aren't your normal run-of-the-mill conversation. They'll be interested in somebody who can offer a lot of information about topics that they don't necessarily know a lot about. If you're a knowledgeable person and you're talking about something that you're interested in and you seem to know a lot about it, they'll be intrigued, even if they're not interested in that subject, especially if they are. If you know more about something than they do, they're going to be like, what? If it's something that they like. Someone who's honest and genuine, they're going to be interested in, and somebody who they feel, you know, comfortable around, like this person has their back. What do they not like? They like confidence, but not pushiness. Very important fine line there for the Scorpio. They'll shy away from someone who's too pushy or who tries to require too much of them too soon. It's not like Scorpio is one of those signs that like needs their freedom and independence all the time. It's just that they have these walls up, and if someone's trying to like bulldoze their way through them, it's so loud, they're not gonna like that. Like, take your time, take it easy, let them be their secretive, mysterious selves for a bit. Or forever, if you're okay with that. Someone who kind of gloms on to their interests and doesn't have any interests of their own is not something that a Scorpio will like. They'll definitely like if you show an interest in things that they like, but if you, in turn, don't have any interests of your own and you don't have anything that you're passionate about, they're going to think twice about that. They definitely won't like somebody flipping the script and doing all the investigating on them. They are the investigators here, not you. Like, get it right. No, but really though, that will just make them uncomfortable and they'll be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? If you lie to them, if you embarrass them, it's not good. If you're kind of dating a Scorpio and you guys get in a bit of an argument and then you purposely don't call them back, you leave them hanging for like a week, you know, they feel abandoned by you in any way, that's something they definitely won't like. It's totally fine to just have your own life and like not respond to their text right away, but if you are making them feel like, you know, that you don't have any time for them at all, or that you just, you know, they're not important to you, they're not gonna like that. On the same note though, if you can't give them space when they need it, they're gonna be like, what the heck? So again, it's one of those tricky situations with the Scorpio. Sometimes they want full-blown clinginess. Other times they don't want to talk to you for like a whole day. Are they interested in dating you? Do they make a point of finding the time to talk to you? When you guys are talking or speaking to each other, are they asking you a lot of questions? Are they really trying to get to know you? Do you feel like you're being interrogated? Then they probably like you. They might add you on social media. They might not add you on social media, but you notice that they're viewing your stories or liking your posts. You've heard that they've been asking around about you, your coworkers, your friends, your family. Scorpios are going to put in the research if they're interested in you. They want to know what they're getting into. They might flirt in more of a seductive manner. That tends to be more of the Scorpio's flirting style. They're very good at flirting. They might ask you on a date without making it clear that it's a date. They have really intense eye contact with you. Now, to be fair, Scorpios tend to have that intense eye contact with many people, but something to pick up on, something to notice. They'll comment positively on your appearance. They do tend to notice people's appearance, and having an attractive partner is important to them. So if they're making comments about how attractive they find you, if they really like your outfit, they think your hair is nice, they think you have an exceptionally beautiful nose, and they make these comments to you, they're probably interested in you. They compliment you. Again, they're gonna go out of their way to get one-on-one time with you. So whether it's, pulling you aside for a chat, just the two of you, sliding into your DMs to have in-depth messages with you and ask you tons of questions. They're gonna find a way for them to focus on you and you to focus on them, but really they're just focusing on you because they're not gonna tell you much about themselves. Only the stuff that would make them seem more alluring. They can be affectionate, they might grab for your hand, they might touch your hair, they might put an awkward hand on the knee, and they'll speak really passionately to you if they're interested in you, like they want to share their passions and interests with you. So you're into a Scorpio, but you're not sure if they've noticed you yet. How can you get them to notice you? So this is not a guide to changing yourself for a person to like you whatsoever. I'm just saying these things to highlight about yourself if you're interested in a Scorpio and how to kind of get them to notice you. As I've been saying in all these videos, don't change yourself for anybody. It's complete waste of your time, I promise. But if you're into a Scorpio and you're trying to kind of get them to look in your direction, here's a few tips. First of all, be a bit mysterious. Do not be an open book with a Scorpio. Don't be shady, but keep some things to yourself. Be a little bit vague, Don't tell them everything about yourself right away. Give them, little hints and little clues and let them do their own digging. They like that. That's what they want. That's what they need. If you're a flirtatious person, keep it subtle. Feel free to flirt, but just don't be super direct and in their face about it. They kind of don't want to know right away if you're interested in them. They want to kind of be like, are they? Aren't they? They seem to be, but I'm not sure. Keeping it subtle will go a longer way with a Scorpio than being forward. And again, don't lie. I'm not saying lie or be dishonest or play tons of mind games, but just take it really slow. Let that whole beginning of the relationship take its time blossoming. Wear your nicest pair of trousers, your nicest outfit, your cutest dress, but leave some stuff to the imagination. You can be sexy, but don't completely overkill it. Scorpios are the type to notice your appearance. They'll notice if you're wearing a nice outfit. So definitely, pull yourself together if you're going to be hanging around this person and you're interested in them. When you're around them, mention things that you're interested and passionate about. Don't be shy about letting your weird or unique side come out, your kinky side. Again, take it slow and all of that. But Scorpios will like this kind of stuff about you. They like the unique, weird stuff. Pull them aside for a one-to-one conversation. Send them a message, on social media. Again, don't send them a message and be like, I like you, let's date. You can. You do you. But I'm just saying, send them a message a little bit flirty, a little bit mysterious. It's okay to be shy or quiet around a Scorpio, but if you have confidence going for you, definitely let that shine. They'll be drawn to your confidence for sure. So you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. Scorpios probably won't be interested in that anyways. Stare at them, smile, and then walk away. It'll work, or it'll at least make them think twice about you. How can you tell if they're not interested and it's time to move on? They won't go out of their way to try to speak to you or find a way to talk to you. This goes for in person, online, via sending you a letter in the mail, you check your mailbox and it's empty. You might not notice them adding you on social media, although this one can be a bit tricky because they are the types to look at your page from their friends' profiles that you don't know that they are. Or they have a private profile and they're looking at your stuff from there, or they just do it in a way that you don't know. They don't make eye contact with you, or they look away really quickly if you try to make eye contact with them. They don't ask any questions about you. If a Scorpio is interested in you, they're going to make you their person of interest. So if they're doing nothing to get information about you at all, then that's not a good sign. They seem distracted by other things when they're around you. Again, if you're their person of interest, then they're going to be most interested in you. They don't compliment you. They make comments about you not being trustworthy, about not being able to trust you. If you're yeah, I'm not talking to that guy at all, they're yeah, whatever, I don't buy it. They might make little jealous comments or stuff like that, and that's just not a good sign, especially at the beginning. Their obsessions are elsewhere. Again, if they're interested in you, then they're going to be obsessed with you at the moment. And if it doesn't feel that way at all, even if they're trying to be more discreet about it, if they're not digging into your life at all, they might be doing it secretively, so who really knows? But that's their biggest hint if a Scorpio is interested in you, is that they'll be looking into you and into your life and trying to figure you out. They have many different methods of doing it, so, just just be aware of that. So that is Scorpio and how to tell if they like you and what they're like when it comes to love and relationships. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I make videos about astrology and love, so if you're interested in that sort of thing, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and have a good day or night.